Everybody, welcome back. I'm the Stretch Professor. Let's go ahead and get back in here. Looking at an Anivia support. This is patch 9.3. So special thanks to Jolty for the generous donation. Appreciate it. If you'd like to donate for a game yourself, just email me at thestratchprofessor@gmail.com. Let me know what you have in mind and set that up. It's just $25 for non-members, $20 for members. Okay. And then be sure to check out the rest of the content on the channel as well. I have an entire playlist of coaching sessions if you want to flip through and you know, find a couple of interesting games for champions you're trying to learn. And then we do tier lists for every patch, and we stream every night starting around 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time most nights. And I am streaming right now as well, so you might hear me talking to the stream. Did I say 9.3? I meant 10.3. My bad. I am a little tired, a little sick. Unsealed spellbook? I don't know about that. As a rune, I would probably take Comet. I feel like you want mana as Anivia. Like a lot of mana. You're not gonna probably have enough time to get Rod of the Ages, so I might even go just like Comet, Mana Flow Band. I don't know what you'd get after that. Absolute Focus maybe, and then Gathering Storm, and then maybe Presence of Mind and Coup de Grace. So that 500 extra mana would come in real clutch with Presence of Mind on Anivia, and then I think you have to go tier. And then probably just like Spell Pen after that, like tier, Boots, Oblivion Orb, and then maybe maybe Leandre's after that. What do you mean exactly? That's why you took Unsealed Spellbook. Are you gonna use Clarity like every now and then in your rotation? I don't know. I don't think Clarity's word. I think that's what it's called, right? The mana returns mana to you. I don't know. If it gives 100% mana, maybe, but I don't know if it's worth using a spellbook proc for that. Maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong about that. But I'm thinking, like, the champs that I'm thinking about for Unsealed Spellbook. Are champs that can like use almost all of the summoners really well. I mean, I get like, so I'm thinking like engaged champs that can use things like Ghost really well and really leverage like teleport flanks. I mean, I guess Anivia can use it like all right. You can teleport back to lane. She needs a better back timing, you know, barrier and exhaust are probably like all right on her. I just think like certain engaged tanks would probably like it more, but at the same time, those champs need, you know, usually they're going to use Aftershock or Guardian. Yeah, you can only get, like, with that build, though, you can only get Clarity once every, like, 10 minutes or something. I don't know. I feel like Comet's pretty solid on her, though. Well, maybe I'm wrong. Right, way to fish him out. Top side chasing Singe. It's cool. Vi is out farming the Lee, but now she's just wasting time on the Singe. Oh my gosh. She's wasted so much time. She's wasted like a minute chasing the Singed. She could have been farming. Okay. I mean, I guess with Relic Shield, you know, you do have better guaranteed wards. Obviously, the mana regen is going to be pretty good on her, but at the same time, if you're getting tier first, which you kind of have to. Dylan in chat asked, did I see the changes they're doing to Omniso not being allowed to give PTA or Conquer on the first roll? Seems like those would be one of the best ones. I agree. I mean, that might be, maybe there's like a champ that uses it where that's OP. I mean, that seems like a nerf to me, and I don't know why you would nerf that rune. It seems like it's almost impossible to balance. Hey, what's up, Peppy? Are Crypt Horrors worth using in Steel Fate? I'd have to... Depends on the... probably depends on the Legendary Lord. I think so. I did play an Isabella campaign. I did like 20 or like 20 episodes of it actually, and I just never published it. I had a lot of fun with it. And then they had a new update that came out with the Skaven and stuff. They gave like 1 week notice on that update. And so it was just kind of out of date, so I just never published it. I had fun with it. But yeah, I think so. There's sort of a regenerating, tanky-ish front line. Now, I do think that the Vargeists are like a much more appealing option than they are in the base game, because they also have, I believe they have a form of regeneration, and they fly. I mean, the Vargeists are really kind of the MVP, especially if you're playing Isabella. And getting a handful of Vargeists are super strong. Nice. What was that stun? Trisk, I'm almost positive Trisk could have just turned around and killed her. But... So yeah, I think probably, but they're not as much of a Grand Slam as they are in the base game, or were in the base game. They've been nerfed several times. Yeah, y'all gotta pull that out of the pit. You gotta make him at least flash. Or use, like, yeah. You can't let him Q into E away without having to burn his flash. I guess he did burn his flash there, maybe, but... Alright, what do you get? Okay, nice. Yeah, so I think Vargeist at tier 3 are kind of optimal, at least with Isabella. Graveguard are alright. I think the zombie dude does pretty well with Graveguard. I think Vlad gets a or not Vlad, Manfred gets a discount on Graveguard too, I think. But Isabella gets bonuses. I'm pretty sure she starts with Vargeist. Starts with a building to build Vargeist, and I think she gets bonuses to Vargeist. To the forest chain thing. But yeah, that's what I think about that. Okay, wait. Oh, are you trying to get Rod and Tier? I think that's too much. I would have gone for the blanket out on the name. The other part that build the mana thing that builds into Seraphs. I would just go Seraphs. I think that it's too slow if you try to go Tier and Rod on a supported Anivia. Lost Chapter. Yeah, I would have just gone Lost Chapter. Straight into Archangels. And then after that, like I said, just getting like Spell Pen. Definitely, I feel like definitely Spell Pen boots. And then after that, you can either go for Leandries or Oblivion Orb. Oblivion Orb would give you a faster power spike, but Leandries is going to be better when it's complete than Morellonomicon. Yeah, I think I would have done Chapter. Like on mid lane Anivia, you want to go for the double mana items usually, but you just aren't going to get enough money. I don't think it's support. pushing. I really wish they'd lower Anivia's mana cost a little bit. I mean, it's kind of absurd, like, how much mana she needs. Another thing is she's kind of like, I don't know, she's kind of the type of champ that really needs blue, like this relic of a bygone era where, you know, mid laners used to give out, like, everything beyond their first blue they used to give to mid. And she's kind of balanced around blue buff, which virtually no champions are like that anymore, but Anivia still is. Where she just almost can't function without blue. But if she gets blue, she gets a lot of power out of having that mana regen. Like, she just has so much wave clear. So they used to really balance mid lane around, just assuming the mid lane gets blue. She used to be a pretty safe assumption back in, like, season 2 and 3, but this day and age, you know, that just doesn't happen a lot of times. Hey, what's up, Nick? We're doing a coaching session here real quick for an Anivia support, and then we're going to get right back on the rank. She was never really that popular in Pro, though. It was basically just Frog and, like, occasionally some other people, but her kit is just... It is, in a sense, like, she just never played in Pro, but her kit is the type of thing they do not want in Pro. I'll put it that way. Like, they do not want Ziggs or Anivia or these, like, perma wave clear, like, siege mages. They don't like that. The games are already kind of long enough. But the thing is, a lot of modern day champs have really good wave clear also, and they do other things. But they put a really high premium for most champions on wave clear. So if you're good at, typically if you're really good at wave clear, they are not going to let you roam that well, and roaming is very important. Like Kiana is kind of the major example, or like the major difference, or like major violator. That's the word I'm looking for right now. In Pro, where she can clear mid super fast and go roam. But yeah, she pays a high price. Foxes, don't even start with me tonight, buddy. Please. Okay, so you're trying to complete Rod. The thing is, you're not going to be able to get your Rod until probably like 20 minutes, and the game might just be over by then.
Blue team's turret has been destroyed. Dominating.
Yeah, but Yuumi has ways to replenish her mana with her passive. Like that, Yumi's stuff costs that much because they want her to hop off. They want to give her a reason to hop off during the laning phase. All right, nice. Anivia's Q is, I don't know if it's the slowest, it's slow. I think like Maokai's ult is probably the slowest, but of like basic abilities, it's pretty close. I think it is slower than Morgana's Q. It is pretty hard to hit. Alright, hold on a second guys, we'll do this real quick. Alright man. I've given you about 50 chances over the last couple of weeks. So everything you say is negative. So I think a lot of people just don't want to hear it. I don't want to have to like... I don't want to hear it, frankly, and I don't want to have to explain whatever or justify everything that I'm doing to you for like 2 hours again. So we'll just go ahead and cut to the chase. I hate to be that way, man. We've given you so many chances to try to be positive. or at least not negative. Yeah, I know what you mean, Shelty. So, does it say? Doesn't say when Dragon's coming up. It's coming up within a minute because it's silver on here. So you need to try to be setting up vision. It is hard to establish vision. Well, we can unhide Exalted. Like, the reason I had such a short fuse with Foxes, for people that haven't been here consistently in the last, like, month or so, is it's, like, literally every stream he comes on. We can unhide Exalted. It's usually a bad idea, just in general, to try to side with people that I've had to ban. But we don't need to ban Exalted yet. I try to have as long of a leash as I can. Yes, thanks, Sammy. So we'll give Exalted a bit longer. The thing is, a lot of people, like, if you're not here all the time, you don't have context on things. Like, we're explaining some of this stuff, you know, for Anivia. I've been talking about the itemization. I was talking with Jolty about the different abilities and strengths and weaknesses and all that stuff. And, you know, Jolty's been a supporter of the channel for, you know, years and years and years. He's had tons of coaching sessions. So, like, he, you know, knows a lot of the basic stuff that I'm going to tell him. Like, he probably knows a lot of what I'm going to tell him before I even tell him, in terms of macro and things like that. So I do explain a lot of it, but... Illidra, are you, so I guess you're an alt account of Foxes, is that what I'm understanding? Yeah, here's the thing. A lot of times, kind of the trolls that we have to ban, like... And there's a lot of people in our culture, too, these days, that just think if you're just saying whatever you believe to be true, then, like, that's completely okay, no matter what it is, right? Like, everyone's like, well, I'm just saying what I perceive to be true. Why did that police officer arrest me? I just came up and told him that I thought he was a piece of trash pig. I don't know why, you know, he arrested me. It's like, you can say whatever you want, like... In many situations, you can't yell fire in theaters and stuff like that, but that doesn't mean that people have to, like, listen to it, right? Or have to, like, entertain you. In, like, a private sphere kind of area, right? Or even in the public sphere if it's disruptive. It's because it's negative, man. Like, I don't want that. A lot of other people don't want that. We've consistently given you a ton of, like... opportunities to change. If you want to stop being negative, I'll unban you, but it just seemed like that was never going to happen. Alright. So you got your rod about 18 minutes. I don't think it's that. I don't think he wants, he's like chaos or, you know, something like that. I think he's just someone that, I don't know, is just used to being rude and getting away with it, I guess. I don't know. I don't even know, like, I mean, you need tier with Anivia. It's just like, it's so hard to charge it up, though, without blue. Hey, thanks, Sammy. Yeah, I agree, but I mean, it's not even that, like, it's a bunch of stuff that I don't want to rehash. It's just like I said, it's like 6 different, like, things over time. So yeah, you should be trying to get vision around Baron here. See if you guys can bait Baron out. They are well, they have more kills than you, but you have more gold overall. But it's just too dark. It is hard to get vision as Anivia because you can get caught out, especially by something like Nautilus, but yeah, I mean, that's kind of the thing, is what Lucas said. It's like, you know, that's a big part of it too. The stuff that Foxes has complained about, like whenever he's seen a coaching or an OP.GG or whatever, it's like, it's just him, you know, that's complaining about it most of the time. And, you know, you got to understand the context. Like I said, I really don't even want to waste any more breath on trying to... I just get sucked into these, like, 2-hour justifications. When, like, he never changes his mind about anything, or never changes his behavior, so there's no point in even talking about the justification. And he's one of the only people that, like, would need to have their mind changed about whatever. I think most people are on board with most things that go on here. That's why they're here. Almost. Here goes Flash. Y'all need to be... It's hard, but see if you can get priority and get up there and get more vision. Like, Sin's just clearing out a lot of this vision right now. And it is hard to get priority on that Singed in side lanes. But... I mean, as always, anyone that's, like, donated, if you ever want me to talk about something specific or you think that I didn't cover, like, some aspect that you wanted me to in depth, obviously, if you say something about it, I will cover it, right? Like, if you're just like, hey, you know, I think you may have overlooked this team fight, would you mind giving me some more commentary on that team fight? Or just like, what did you think about our decision there for the, you know, this rotation? Should we have gone Baron or should we have gone Elder? You know, if I don't catch something that you want me to give you commentary on, you know, people will know that. Reasonable people know that. I'm never going to be like, no, I'm not going to go back and look at that again, you know? And I'm always in the chat with people that are the person who's getting coached, so... Nice. We did close him out there. Let me, where were you? Just bottom, like, pushing up? Yeah, I would have been closer to, because, like, Talon's already pushing bottom, so I think you need to be closer. Because Anivia has really good zone control, but you got to be there first. So, like, you being there and throwing out a wall or something, or, like, channeling your ult to zone people off of the dragon would have been good. I mean, obviously, you guys cleaned up the fight, and that was a really good, you know, double stun there, but I think in general, especially as a control mage like Anivia, you want to make sure that you're there first. like setting up vision and trying to zone people with your stuff. Yeah, I think Relic is nice. I mean, I would try the adaptation that I mentioned earlier. Like, you did end up getting pretty fed, and this game is going really long, so you were able to get the rod, which is nice. But I still think that just going for the Archangels into spell pin stuff is probably better as support, into like Leandre's, or into double pin. I would have probably done Sork boots too. You are kind of slow. I mean, you do need the... I mean, Moby boots are really good. Like, it's hard to ever say Moby boots aren't like a good option, but you need to be careful. Do you have TP? I don't know if you have TP available or not with your Unsealed Spellbook. Okay, good cleanup. Yeah, it's like, you know, as we were talking about earlier, the double mana for like mid lane I think makes sense, but I don't know. As support, it feels too slow to me. Obviously, you're doing really well this game, like stat wise. I mean, I'm not an expert on Anivia support, but it seems a bit expensive to me. If you guys weren't like, I guess you're not murdering them as hard as it seems. At least not in terms of kills, although you are up about 7k gold. But does she though? I mean, like, are you like running out of mana in these fights? I mean, maybe, but once again, I think that taking something like Presence of Mind would make it to where you don't have to take Rod. Because Presence would give you 500 more mana, and every time you get a kill, it gives you 25 or 20% of your total mana back. So, even if you did burn through, and Rod, how much does Rod give you? Rod only gives you like 500 mana too, doesn't it? 400. So Presence would give you the same amount of mana as Rod, even a little bit more. But you wouldn't have to spend 2,600 gold on it. Now, Rod also does give you, you know, other good stuff. The HP and the 100 health. But it puts you in this really weak position. You know, when you complete it, when you're building towards it for 10 minutes, you don't have as much AP. And she has, you know, she has really good AP ratios. For the most part, I think. I mean, her E is pretty spammable. And if they're frozen... Yeah, you needed to be, you gotta come zone the lead. You didn't get that dragon, but you need to be like standing kind of near the wall and just zone him out with your W and with your ult and your Q, just like keep him out of the pit. In general, you need to be pinging for your team to come out of the pit
Red team
bring the dragon out of the pit in general so that Lee can't Q onto it. But then also, you know, you always want to try to zone the jungler out so he doesn't even get a look at the smite. Because really, you know, people act like there's a lot of skill in like smite fights. And unless it's like super high level play, it's really just 50-50 if both junglers get in close to the objective and they're both trying to press smite. Like, it's just not reliable. So you always want to try to either kill their jungler before you take an objective or zone them off with the objective. Hey, what's up, Mangle? I'd probably get out of here. It's a little bold to push that far. No, do not do Glacial Augment. I really think just do Comet, man. Yeah, that's exactly right, Peppy Bean. That's exactly how it works. Yep. If the jungler comes in and steals, gets the last hit, then they get the bonus. Yep. So that's why it's important to keep, like, the jungler. So the people who are in the jungle, if you don't play League a lot, they have an ability called Smite, which does more damage than almost any other ability in the game to monsters. And so usually if your jungler is there, then, and their jungler is not, you're gonna get it the vast majority of the time. There's a couple of champions that have abilities that do more to monsters, but it's very rare. Like Cho'Gath, Nunu, like there's a couple, but in general, if you can just keep their jungler out of the pit, then your jungler is going to be able to get it. So that's part of the game, is you want to either kill their jungler, or you want to keep them out of the pit. This is pretty dangerous. Yeah, y'all are gonna die. You're up too far with it. I mean, you do have some vision in there, but the rest of your team is chasing Singed top, which, should they be doing that? Probably not. But are they? Yeah. You just gotta take a look at that. Is it worth dying to get the dragon kill? It depends. If nothing else happens, one kill for a dragon, yeah, it's worth. But, you know, if they, like, if your jungler dashes in to kill the dragon and Baron's up, and it's pretty late in the game, it's like 30 minutes in, and they can go do Baron, it's probably not going to be worth, because if they, like, if your jungler goes in, takes the dragon, dies, and then they all go up for the Baron, you may not be able to stop them. So it just kind of depends on, like, how late the game is and what else the enemy can get while you're dead if you try to steal it. But if it's, like, really early in the game, if it's an early dragon and there's no threat of them taking Baron, then yeah, it's probably worth, if you get it. I still don't like, unless you're in a really desperate situation, trying to suicide to take a buff. Anivia had a 1k bounty. She did, yeah. It's rich. I don't know. The Zhonya's, I mean, it's nice. I'd probably rather just get, like, the Leandries, just a bit more damage. You've got a lot of defensive stuff. You know, you've got Archangels, you've got Rod. Yeah, usually, like, if your team's really far behind and you need to stop them from getting, like, the 4th dragon or something, then yeah, go for the smite fight. But, you know, like I said, if they can get something else, if you're dead, if you're the really powerful one on your team too, if you're like a Master Yi with 10 kills or something, you know, you don't want to die for a dragon. It's really important to your team. Y'all don't want to fight this. You might win anyways, but it's a bad fight. 45. Jinx is so bad, it's probably doesn't matter. That's kind of one of the dangers, is like, if you're doing really well, and you win the game, then it's easy. Okay, thanks, Sammy. It's easy to kind of get lulled into bad patterns. They're not bad, but like to get away with stuff that you might get punished for. Yeah, I always hate that when you start like certain places in buildings, or like there's a place on campus like it's like kind of a dead zone. Like this one pizza place I like to eat at, but it never has any internet. Like even my like my cell network like doesn't work there. Like, it's like in the middle of the town. It works like 1,000 feet away from the pizza place, so I don't know. So I don't go there that much because I can't, like, you know, while I'm waiting on the pizza, I'm trying to, you know, I can't make it for 15 minutes without my internet. What am I supposed to do? Sounds kind of ridiculous when I think about it, but considering I made it for many years before the internet was even around. Okay. So overall, you know, really good stat game. Just the stuff that I mentioned earlier, I would consider. Try it out, see what you think. You know, I'm not 100% if, you know, that's optimal, but I think if you can get away from Rod, if you can take, you know, a combination of Mana Flow Band and Presence of Mind, I think that could be really good. And then you can spend that, you know, devote that, I think it's like 2,600 for Rod. You can spend that towards a Leandri's. I think you'd have a lot more damage. And the main thing is it comes on, like, right away, you know, once you complete it, versus Rod takes that 10 minutes, especially if you're going to do tier plus Rod, because your Rod wasn't even powered up till, like 27 or 28 minutes. And, you know, the game might be over in some circumstances. Now, your team was doing very well, and both teams were kind of stalling out, so it worked out, obviously, in this game, but I think there could be other games that accelerate so fast that you just may not be able to come online. So that's one thing to think about. What was your main ability? Was it... I don't know if you bought Teleport or not. But yeah, I'm not... I mean, Unsealed, you know, can be okay, like you said. Every, like, however many spell rotations you get, you could get Clarity. I think it's like you have to use 3 before you can go back to the same one again. Might be used 4. But yeah, it's just really situational. I don't know. I think Comet's pretty good, although you don't have a great way to proc it over and over again. Like, you have to hit your Qs in the laning phase. So, I don't know. Maybe there is something better. I mean, Unsealed's okay. It's okay. But I don't know what your secondary was. I mean, I guess you could still do Unsealed and take Presence of Mind Coup de Grace secondary. I just think Presence of Mind, like the new Presence of Mind, where you get 500 flat mana and it refunds 20% every time you get a killer and assist, is exactly the kind of thing that Anivia wants. So I guess you could do Presence as a secondary, even with Unsealed. Yeah, the ult does slow, but that's obviously like level 6. So that's pretty late. Like, Comet's really kind of shines in the laning phase. I mean, it's good later on, but... And then, you know, there are a couple of times where you could have been at the fight earlier. I'm thinking that one dragon fight where you were clearing the wave, which clearing waves is very important, but the fact that Talon was already there clearing it as well, you really want to make sure you're there early so you can use that zoning power. Because that's, the, you know, one of the big things that Anivia brings to the table is if she's already in her position, it's hard to push her off of that position. Because she's got the wall, she has her stun, she has her, you know, ultimate. So it's really hard to get her out of a certain zone. And so if you're in that zone first and you have really good vision, you know, you can push the enemy out of there so they can't get in and contest the dragon. And on that note, also, you want to make sure that you try to pull the dragon out of the pit if you know their jungler could be close by. And so that Lee Sin can't connect on it with a Q, he's going to at least have to use his E dash to get in there. And you want to try to zone him out, right? So when it's starting to get low, you know, just disrupt him as much as you can. Throw your Q at him, see if you get a stun, use your wall. Just do everything you can to try to zone the Lee off of that pit. And, you know, he can flash in and try to smite it anyways if it's really close, or he can Q in and try to get it. But if you pull it out of the pit a little bit, then it's much more likely you're going to be able to stun him, and he's not going to be in smite range. Because remember, even if you smite him, or even if you stun him rather, he can still smite. Like, people can smite no matter what unless they're suppressed. So if they're knocked up, if they're silenced, if they're stunned, they still get to smite. It's kind of dumb. You know, I wish you could shut out junglers more with CC, but they really want to punish you for allowing an enemy jungler to get into that pit. So, you know, you need to keep him from getting into the pit, if at all possible. But other than that, I thought it was, you know, it was good. You're hitting some clutch stuns there. You're positioning well in team fights. You didn't die a lot. You know, you had a solid team with you. You had Engage with the Vi, so you could play a mage. So I think that's pretty solid. But yeah, those are the things I would at least consider, think about. You know, try to take that presence of mind, see if you can get off a rod and either go double pin with the Sork boots plus Oblivion Orb or Sork boots, and then just work towards Leandries if you're getting rich. Even something like Death Cap, that's more expensive, but they'll just give you like much harder burst, I think, in fights. And then, you know, just trying to get vision and set up that zone of control around those objectives and try to zone that jungler out. But anyways, that's going to be it for this video. Thank you very much. As always, Jolty, anyone else that'd like a coaching session, just email me at thestrategyprofessor@gmail.com. Let me know what you have in mind. Once again, you know, if there is something that you specifically want, once again, I'm justifying myself, and I probably shouldn't have to most people watching this channel. But obviously, if, you know, there's something else that I'm overlooking or I'm missing, or you want me to go back and look at something during a coaching session, I'm always here, you know, on stream, reading the stream, and I'm happy to do anything you want with the coaching session, right? But then Jolty's done a lot of this, so he knows a lot of what I'm going to say macro-wise about wards and vision and things like that. And I do talk about that, and people on the channel understand that I am streaming and I am still talking with the stream as well while we're doing the game. You know, and we're just going to focus on, a lot of times, on those big moments, unless the person who donates really is asking me to, you know, focus in. Because you don't want to overload people. As an educator, I say this, you know, a lot, and I used to make this mistake when I was a rookie educator. I would just mark everything that could possibly be incorrect, you know, on an essay. Like every single comma splice, every time they said, you know, the wrong version of their, just anything, I would mark it all. But then students just don't read that. It's just too much, right? And so that's why I think in coaching sessions a lot of times, it's best just to focus on a few big things that people could really work on and think about. And it's stuff that's like, you want to focus on the stuff that's going to give the highest impact, that also is like relatively the easiest to do. And that's why I focus on decision making a lot of times, you know, items, wards, macro, things like that. Like, I could point out, okay, you need to stand 1 pixel closer and pressure them off of this one, you know, extra minion in the laning phase, and okay, you were about, you know, half a second too slow when you know, did this or did that, or okay, you need to hit that skill shot. You see that, you should have aimed that better and done this here and here. So you could nitpick everything to death, but it's just really counterproductive. So I think just focusing on, you know, the bigger stuff is more important. So anyways, that's gonna be it. Thank you very much for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe if you enjoy it. The stream's going to continue, but that's it for the coaching. If you want to watch more coaching, check it out. I have a playlist in the description, and just email me if you're interested at thestrategyprofessor@gmail.com, and I'll see you next time.